All right, welcome back to the final half hour of Queen City News. We do have some breaking news right now. Vice President Kamala Harris has made her pick for a running mate.
Yeah, our reporting partners at The Hill and the Associated Press all saying Minnesota Governor Tim Walz will join Harris on the Democratic ticket.
We have got Chris Cooper with Western Carolina University, political science professor there on with us this morning. Chris, thanks for jumping on. We appreciate this. We knew an announcement was coming at some point today from Harris. Are you surprised when you look at, you could have gone with Josh Shapiro over Walz, but she went with Walz. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, it's interesting, right? I mean, you might have thought, hey, Shapiro is the guy who could perhaps bring a swing state, perhaps bring Pennsylvania. Instead, she went with the governor of Minnesota, a state that the Democrats are going to win. Look, if the Democrats are in trouble in Minnesota, they're going to lose big, right? So this is clearly not one about the home state. This is one about the, what she's trying to project, what that ticket is trying to project to the American people. One of sort of quiet competence and some dad vibes.
Bad vibes.
You're right.
You definitely get that with Walz. As far as picking somebody who can appeal to rural voters, we know that Trump went with J.D. Vance to try to appeal to that. Walz, you get that in spades in terms of his appeal to rural voters. Does that kind of help balance out the J.D. Vance to Walz pick?
Yeah, I think it does. I think it makes a lot of sense from that perspective. And look, Kamala Harris doesn't exactly scream rural vibes either, right? Here's somebody from San Francisco. So I think when we think about balance in the ticket, that does make some sense, right? So Walz is going to be able to, ideally for them, be able to sort of talk better to rural voters. I mean, the guy hunts, the guy fishes, the guy was, played football. He, again, has these kind of Midwestern dad vibes, some rural vibes. I think the hope is that it will help stop the bleeding in the rural parts of the country for the Democrats and maybe be enough to put Harris over the top in certain places across the country.
Chris, can we be honest here for a second? And I mean no disrespect to the office of the vice president, by all means. But let's go back to the last three and a half years, all right? There's not really a lot that we see in history that comes out of the vice president office. I don't want to say it's a forgotten office because it's not by any means, right? But does having someone as your wingman, as your running mate, does it really give that much to how people are going to vote either way?
The short answer to that question is no, right? So there's only one time in American history, at least recent American history, where we can say the vice president definitely made a difference. And that was Sarah Palin. And that did not matter in the positive direction, right? That actually didn't work out well at all for John McCain. Generally speaking, the evidence shows that in terms of direct effect on the vote choice, it just doesn't mean much. So why do we care, right? We care, one, because let's be honest, it's kind of fun, right? It's like opening a Christmas present and you don't know exactly what's inside. But it also matters because it's the first time Kamala Harris has been able to make a choice this consequential as one of the two major party candidates for president. So it's a symbol of her decision making, but it's not the case that it's going to all of a sudden flip the election in one direction or the other.
Getting the VP pick out of the way, and again, this was kind of what we were waiting for. We were waiting for the virtual roll call so that Kamala could officially become the candidate. Now we were waiting on the VP pick. We've got that. Now is it full steam ahead? Because, we've been talking about this jumble up since Biden dropped out. They still have to focus on November. They had campaign signs. They weren't even sure who they were going to put on it. Now Kamala has to go full speed ahead, right? There's nothing stopping her.
Yep, no, that's exactly right. They have to hit the gas and hit it hard, and they cannot let up until November. So the kind of fun part of the campaign is over, and now it gets real serious. She has a running mate. We can print the signs up. They're going to say Harris Walz. No T in that Walz, by the way. I made that mistake earlier today. So they're going to be they're going to be moving on as if this is the ticket. And for all intents and purposes, it is the ticket. It's going to be Kamala Harris and, surprisingly, Tim Walz.
All right, so we know that on the Republican side, we've got Trump's running mate, J.D. Vance, is still scheduled to be in North Carolina this week, this Thursday. We know that Kamala Harris has rescheduled her trip here because of the weather, Tropical Storm Debbie coming through. What do we expect on the GOP side? Do we expect some kind of counter from J.D. Vance? I mean, this is basically going to be his opponent with Walz.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. I expect to see the Trump campaign have a statement out. Look, Trump will probably put something on Truth Social as he does. I would expect J.D. Vance to try to take on Walz in some way. But, he's not the kind of guy who's easy to take on. I mean, we're just learning about him. But if we look at his voting record when he was in Congress. And he was in Congress from, I believe, 2005 through 2019, if I'm not mistaken. He had a pretty moderate voting record. I mean, yeah, he was to the left of the center of Congress, but so is every Democrat. He was kind of to the right of many of the Democrats. This guy is a moderate. He is of rural America. He is not an elite in any way. I mean, this is somebody who's going to be hard, I think, for J.D. Vance to really go after. Whereas, as we've seen for the last couple of weeks, J.D. Vance seems to be pretty easy guy for the Democrats to go after.
I do want to ask you, we've been kind of talking about the honeymoon period for Kamala Harris here, where there's a lot of excitement in the Democratic Party. You have the candidate now, you have the VP, but getting down to it, we didn't see a lot, as Jason mentioned, from Kamala over her time in office as VP. Now we have to get down to the brass tacks. What does Kamala have to do in order to potentially win in November, and where is she going to get hit the hardest from Republicans?
Yeah, I mean, look, she needs to keep this excitement, right? I mean, it's hard thing to keep going, but she needs to bottle this. She needs to keep it going. We've seen an increase in campaign donations. We've seen an increase in voter registrations, but that isn't what really matters, right? What really matters is votes. And so she needs to go to swing states. She needs to be in North Carolina, which she's done a lot. She needs to be in Pennsylvania. She needs to convince people that she is competent. I think as y'all mentioned before, the vice presidency isn't exactly known for its, expansive powers. It was described by an old vice president one time as worth a bucket of warm spit. But I'm not even sure he really actually used the word spit. He might have used another word there. So the point is, the vice presidency doesn't seem to be that powerful. You have to convince people that, hey, here's somebody who can do the job, despite the fact that for about 4 years now, she really hasn't had much of a policy portfolio.
Chris, on the flip side of that, we're almost out of time. If you are Trump's campaign manager, what do you tell him before he walks out in front of a microphone? And what do you say, don't do this, in order to get to the White House?
Look, he's got to tone it down. That speech in Georgia the other day where he attacked sitting Republicans who are in office in Georgia, I mean, that cannot continue if he wants to win this election. You can't attack your own team. So I think if I could tell him one thing, it would be save your attacks for the other team. Go easy on the Republicans, will you?